Hello colleagues, today is Monday, October 18th. I'm greeting you from my office with my weekly communication. Hope this one finds you all doing well. And as my custom, I'll share with you a few things I've been doing, but also talk about a few things that are coming down the line. First off, I've continued my learning of Nevada State College. In fact, I had several boot camps this past week on our academic affairs and understanding more about our workforce division and the work we're doing in that space. I had listen and learn sessions with members of our student body, but also members of our student body who live at the villages, the village people. It was really good. We had a great and powerful conversation. And then of course I spent some dedicated time over the last couple of weeks with each of our deans of our schools. So it was a very intentional week now of kind of moving beyond some of these the things I would do in the first 2 months, but going a little bit deeper into the organization around some key issues of import for us. I also had my Council of Presidents meeting and spent time with our faculty leadership because those are always good opportunities to talk about governance and what that looks like. Externally, it was a busy week as well. NCHE hosted a reception, in particular the chancellors and the regions, and welcoming me to our NCHE family and to some of our elected officials were able to attend. I also attended the Athena Awards hosted by the Women's Chamber. Great group of folks from Nevada State who went, and we had a great time with each other. I spent some time with one of my favorite colleagues, President Achara at the Desert Research Institute, and got to really understand some great ideas we have about future partnerships in research, in student capacity building, so very excited about that. And then I had the pleasure to meet with one of our donors, Elaine Hodgkins, a fantastic supporter, an advocate for the organization. Now, we had scheduled, I think, an hour to talk to each other, and an hour and a half later we said we better get done because it was really a great experience of affirming for us why we've chosen this work that we have, how it all connects together, and really the impact of Nevada State College and the community that we serve. Related to that, our community continues to be as robust as we always are this time of year as we move into, I think, the heart of the fall semester. This is the week where we will hold our salary study town hall for academic and administrative faculty. We've had some really great responses in a series of pre-meetings and open forums, and NFA held one very powerful opportunity there to really debunk the myths, to hear the concerns, as well as hear the praise and thanks for the work that's gone on here. We're going to be having seating for this upcoming town hall. Is going to take place in the Christensen building, room 211 on October 27th at 3 p.m. I hope to hear that lots of you attended that as well. And then we're also in the midst of planning for our faculty and staff awards and holiday party. We're putting them all together this year. And what I'm really excited about, we're taking some deliberate time to make this a special event. We have been through so much in higher education as a whole. We went virtually overnight into teaching and learning and working in an online environment, and we had to do that in ways that many of us may not have been prepared to do, and then we had to do it for so long, and now we're all coming back because guess what? We are coming back and bold. Very excited about that work that's being done. But we're going to take the time, and we're looking right now at December 10th, so mark the date, save it on your calendar. You'll be having some more information come out about that very soon. I think it's going to be a really, really special moment for us as an institution. You also saw a memo that went out for me on Friday regarding our alternative work arrangement. It's a new policy. I want to be very intentional about this. This is probably the first policy that you've seen from me that's come out as the college president. We'll be vetting it through the college, as we all do with policies here. But this one is in depth. It provides a framework for how and why we think that alternative work is a positive potential for our institution. In addition to that, we'll be spending some time doing definitions, talking about process and procedures. I'll be bringing that draft policy this week to the leadership team, and we'll be spending time with it there, and then it will start to be disseminated within the college community through the various governance modes within the college. So please keep an eye on it, faculty, staff, and students. Very important that you all have an opportunity to contribute to that feedback. And then last but not least, if you're still unvaccinated, faculty and students, you still have enough time to get vaccinated by taking the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. So I really want to encourage you to do that. The last numbers I saw, we were in the mid-upper 80s as an institution. Want to continue that, and as our students are preparing to register for the spring semester, incumbent upon us that we have that documentation that has now been mandated by the state of Nevada health organizations. And then last but not least, I'm thinking and trying to take everything I've learned in. And I've been so grateful to all of the wonderful conversations that I've seen and engaged in, where people are talking about what works really well at Nevada State, what makes us unique and special, where are the opportunities that we could stretch and grow, and maybe even know some things we need to stop doing. And one of the things I've been talking a lot about is how we have to start to align our structure within the institution with where we are right now and where we want to go. And so I'm going to, over the next couple of weeks, be working to put together a strategy around some reorganizations. And several of you I know have heard me talk a little bit about, as an institution, we've got to align our muscles in a lot of ways because we've been eating at them. We've been growing, chasing that growth very deliberately, but we haven't provided the infrastructure that's needed to support that. I was sharing with Dr. Amber not too long ago that my son, I can remember this distinctly as a younger boy, about 10, his knees were growing so fast, and he would wake up in the middle of the night and say, "Mama, Mommy, my legs are hurting." And I always knew when he was going to go through a growth spurt, because he would be so hungry and then he would sleep like a rock. So here we are as an organization. I think I would offer to you that we are hungry as an institution. We are growing, we're doing all the right things that we could have, but now it's time to look at our structure and align it in a way that prepares us not only to serve the students we are now, but the type of organization that we want to become in the future. So you're going to be hearing me talk more about that in the coming weeks, and that way, again, trying to keep everybody prepared around that. Am I suggesting radical things? No, but some alignment in ways that I think could be potentially reflective of who we are becoming as an institution of higher education. I want to leave you with an ask, as I do each week, and hope that it's something that sits with you. I think that we have to be very thoughtful about how we reflect our narrative as an institution. How we talk about who we are, how we talk about who we're going to become, and understand where we're situated in that, and not to otherize it. One of the things I hear oftentimes is, "They did this," or "I was unaware." So one of the things I talk a lot about is that communication is dialogic. There's also a way that we have to show up as an organization to make sure that we're thinking deliberately and owning our part of the narrative about who we're going to become as an institution. Because as we prepare the road to our 20th anniversary, it's incumbent upon all of us to make sure that as many voices are heard in this, that those who are going to be held accountable for decision making do that from a highly informed place, but have the ability to do that. Those of us who are concerned about certain things, that we have appropriate pathways to that. Those that want to celebrate and recognize all the great things that are happening here, that they have space and place to do that as well. So that's my ask of you, to think about how you contribute and show up in shaping the narrative of the institution. So let me end with my gratitude, always with a grateful spirit to what is transpiring at this institution, what I get to be a part of. You may have seen it, I posted on social media, that dude we live with, that's what we call him, my glorious Miles, went on his first homecoming. And I had to tell you, yes, I cried, because of course, as any parent does, you look at this little person, and it's the same person in your eyes that you remember bringing home from the hospital or somehow caring for at different points in his life. And now he's 14 and 6'1", taller than me, and gloriously handsome and smart and witty and all of that. But he went to homecoming. But it was fun because he had a little crew that he's been making friends with, and that transition, I think in a lot of ways, I underestimated that impact on him coming as he gets ready to start high school. But I would tell you, he is doing it great, and it reminded me of just how glorious it is to be at Nevada State College and what Nevada pretends for all of us as a family. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful to those of you who cheered me along and heard me fuss about the fact he wanted to wear tennis shoes instead of dress shoes, which I realize is a thing now. But just glad to be here, and grateful for the role that we get to have, and grateful for the role that my family is able to have in the life of Nevada as well. So thank you all. I'll see you next week, and until that time, take care and be well.